She opens her eyes to darkness. Complete, absolute darkness that should be terrifying but somehow isn't. She can see perfectly despite the absence of light, every detail of the stone ceiling above her, every crack in the mortar, every microscopic imperfection. This should be impossible. Human eyes don't work like this. She sits up. The movement is too fast, too fluid, too effortless. One moment horizontal, the next vertical, no muscle strain, no effort required. Her body moves differently than it should. She's lying on a bed in what appears to be a basement. Stone walls. No windows. Candlelight that seems unnecessarily bright, almost painful. A man sits in a chair beside the bed, watching her with an expression of desperate hope mixed with terror. "Evelyn," the man says. His voice breaks on her name. "Evelyn, do you know who I am?" She looks at him, studies his face. He's handsome, maybe 30 years old, dark hair, gray eyes currently filled with tears. He looks at her like she's the most important thing in the world. Like he knows her intimately. Like they share history. She has absolutely no idea who he is. "No," she says. Her voice sounds wrong. Too clear, too melodic, not quite human. "Should I?" The man's face crumples. He closes his eyes and a single tear runs down his cheek. "My name is Marcus. Marcus Castellan. We've been married for 5 years. You were dying. Car accident. I transformed you to save your life. You've been unconscious for 3 days. The transformation worked. You're alive. You're a vampire now. But you don't remember anything, do you?" Evelyn. Is that her name? It doesn't feel familiar. Looks at this stranger claiming to be her husband. She feels nothing. No recognition. No love. No connection. Just emptiness where memories should be. "I don't remember you," she says honestly. "I don't remember being married. I don't remember a car accident. I don't remember anything before opening my eyes just now. It's all blank. Like I was just born 3 minutes ago as a fully grown adult in a basement." Marcus makes a sound that's half sob, half laugh. The transformation was supposed to preserve memories. It always preserves memories. That's the point. You keep who you are, you just become immortal. But something went wrong. The trauma from the accident, maybe, or complications during transformation, or just bad luck. The memories are gone. 5 years of marriage. 7 years of knowing each other. 12 years total if you count when we first met in high school. All of it gone. He stands, walks to the far wall, presses his forehead against the cold stone. "I saved your life," Marcus whispers. "You're alive. Immortal. We can have eternity together now. But you don't know who I am. You don't remember loving me. You don't remember our wedding, our honeymoon, our life together. I have a wife who looks exactly like the woman I love, but is essentially a stranger wearing her face." Evelyn doesn't know what to say. She can see his pain. Understands intellectually that this is tragic. But she feels nothing. Can't mourn memories she doesn't have. Can't miss a man she doesn't remember loving. "I'm sorry," she offers, because it seems like the right thing to say. Marcus turns, looks at her with devastated eyes. "Don't be sorry. You're alive. That's what matters. The memories. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe with time, you'll remember. Or maybe we can build new memories. Start over. Fall in love again." "Maybe," Evelyn says, though she's not sure she means it. Marcus approaches the bed slowly, like she might flee. "I'm going to tell you our story. Everything. From the beginning. How we met. How we fell in love. Our life together. The accident. The transformation. All of it. Maybe hearing it will trigger something. Maybe you'll remember." "Okay," Evelyn agrees. She's curious about this blank space where her past should be. Marcus sits back down in his chair beside her bed, takes a deep breath, and begins to tell their story. The story of Marcus and Evelyn. How they met. How they fell in love. How he transformed her to save her life. How the transformation succeeded but erased everything that made her who she was. This is their tragedy. Not death. Not separation. But love that survived death only to be forgotten completely. I met you 12 years ago, Marcus begins, speaking to this woman who has Evelyn's face but none of Evelyn's memories. September 2013. We were both 16. First day of junior year at Riverside High School in Portland, Oregon. You were new. Your family had just moved from California. I was in my third year at the school, established, comfortable. Marcus leans back in his chair, lost in memory. We had AP English together. Mrs. Henderson's class, third period. You walked in 5 minutes late on the first day. You'd gotten lost finding the classroom. Mrs. Henderson was annoyed but let it slide since it was the first day. You took the only empty seat, which happened to be right next to mine. You were wearing a green sweater. Your hair was longer then, down to your waist. You had a nervous habit of tucking it behind your ear when you were anxious. You did it about 15 times that first class. I counted. Evelyn listens but feels nothing. This story is about a stranger. She has no connection to this girl in a green sweater. Mrs. Henderson assigned a reading assignment, Jane Eyre. You raised your hand and said you'd already read it 3 times and could you read something else instead. Mrs. Henderson was impressed. Most students at Riverside complained about reading at all. Here you were asking for more challenging material. After class, I caught up to you in the hallway. I said, if you've read Jane Eyre 3 times, you must really love Bronte. Have you read Wuthering Heights? You lit up. Said it was your favorite book. We talked for 20 minutes about 19th century literature while standing in the hallway. I was late to my next class. Didn't care. Marcus smiles at the memory. We became friends immediately. Ate lunch together every day. Studied together. You helped me with English. I was decent but you were brilliant. I helped you with math. You struggled with calculus. We balanced each other. By October, I was in love with you. Completely. But you didn't seem to notice. Or maybe you did and just didn't feel the same way. Either way, I kept my feelings to myself. Didn't want to ruin our friendship. Then in December 14th, 2013, I remember the exact date. We were studying for finals in the library. You fell asleep with your head on my shoulder. I sat there for 2 hours not moving, afraid to wake you up, just happy. That's when I knew I was absolutely gone for you. Marcus's voice becomes softer, more pained. I didn't tell you I loved you until March 2014. 5 months of friendship. 5 months of being in love silently. Finally got the courage to say it. We were at your house, your parents were out, we were watching some terrible movie neither of us cared about. And I just said it. Evelyn, I'm in love with you. Have been since September. You went quiet for about 30 seconds. Longest 30 seconds of my life. I thought I'd ruined everything. Then you said, I've been waiting 5 months for you to say that. I've loved you since October. We kissed for the first time that night. You tasted like the strawberry lip gloss you always wore. It was perfect. You were perfect. Evelyn watches Marcus tell this story. Sees the love and pain in his eyes. But she feels nothing. These events mean nothing to her. They're just words about people she doesn't know. We dated through the rest of high school, Marcus continues. We're inseparable. Your parents loved me. My parents loved you. Everyone assumed we'd get married eventually. And we did, but that came later. After graduation in 2015, we both went to University of Oregon. Different majors. You studied literature, I studied history. But we made it work. Lived in the same dorm building freshman year. Got an apartment together sophomore year. Your parents were scandalized but eventually accepted it. I was going to propose after graduation. Had it planned out. Romantic dinner, ring I'd saved up for working part-time jobs throughout college. But then something happened that changed everything. Marcus pauses. This is where his story gets complicated. Spring 2017. End of our junior year. I was 20 years old. You were 20. I was attacked by a vampire. I'd never believed in vampires. Thought they were folklore. Fiction. Then one night walking home from the library, I was jumped by a man who moved too fast to be human. He bit my neck. Drained most of my blood. Left me dying in an alley. Another vampire found me. Older vampire. His name was Antonius. He'd been tracking the first vampire, rogue vampire, Antonius called him, one who killed indiscriminately and needed to be stopped. Antonius arrived too late to prevent my attack, but in time to save my life. He offered me a choice: die in the next 5 minutes, or be transformed into a vampire and live forever. I chose life. Antonius transformed me. 3 days of agony while my body changed. Then I woke up as a vampire. 20 years old forever. Marcus looks at Evelyn with desperate eyes, willing her to remember this part at least. I had to tell you what I'd become. Couldn't hide it. We lived together. You'd notice immediately that I didn't sleep, didn't eat, avoided sunlight. So I told you everything. Showed you what I could do. Expected you to be horrified, to leave me. But you didn't. You accepted it. Said you loved me regardless of what I was. Said vampire or human didn't matter. I was still Marcus, still the person you'd been in love with for 3 years. We adjusted. I learned to control my vampirism. Antonius taught me how to survive without killing. Fed from blood banks, never from humans. You helped me maintain the appearance of normalcy. We graduated in 2018, you at 21, me frozen at 20 but pretending to age. And then I proposed. June 2019. We'd been together 5 years. I'd been a vampire for 2 years. I asked you to marry me in the same library where we used to study in high school. You said yes immediately. We got married in October 2019. Marcus's voice fills with love and anguish. 5 years of marriage, Evelyn. 2019 to 2024. Best 5 years of my existence. You were everything to me. You knew what I was and loved me anyway. You aged slowly from 22 to 27 while I stayed 20. We knew eventually the age gap would become obvious. We talked about it. You said we'd deal with it when it became a problem. We had a plan. When you turned 40, we'd fake your death and I'd transform you. Give you immortality. We'd have eternity together. That was supposed to happen in 2037. We had 13 more years. Then the accident happened. 2 weeks ago, Marcus continues, his voice shaking now. November 7th, 2024. You were 27 years old. We'd been married 5 years. Everything was perfect. And then in one moment, everything fell apart. He stands, paces the basement room. You were driving home from work. Marketing job at a firm downtown. Normal Thursday evening. 5:30 p.m. Light traffic. You were at a stoplight, completely stopped, waiting for the light to change. A drunk driver ran the red light. Hit your car at 60 miles per hour. T-boned the driver's side. Your car was destroyed. You were... Marcus's voice breaks. You were dying. Multiple internal injuries. Severe head trauma. The paramedics said you'd be dead before reaching the hospital. I got the call from the hospital 15 minutes after the accident. They said you were critical. I drove there breaking every traffic law. Got there in 8 minutes. Found you in the ER, doctors working on you, but I could hear your heartbeat. Vampire hearing. It was slowing. Irregular. You were minutes from death. I had to make a choice. Let you die naturally at 27, 37 years earlier than planned. Or transform you immediately, save your life, give you the immortality we'd planned for later. Marcus looks at Evelyn directly. I chose to save you. I couldn't let you die. Couldn't imagine existence without you. So I used my vampire abilities, speed, strength, influence over weak-minded humans, to get the doctors out of your room. Locked the door. And I transformed you. I drank from your neck until you were at the edge of death. Then I fed you my blood. The transformation began. Your body started changing. Vampire biology replacing human biology. It's supposed to take 3 days. 3 days of being technically dead while the body transforms. But something went wrong. The head trauma from the accident. The brain damage. During transformation, vampire blood heals all injuries. That's the point. Your broken ribs healed. Your internal bleeding stopped. Your shattered pelvis reconstructed itself. Even your brain healed. But the healing, it did something to your memories. Marcus sits back down heavily. You were unconscious for 3 days. Normal transformation time. I sat beside you the entire time. Talked to you. Told you stories about our life together. Held your hand. Waited for you to wake up. Day 3, you opened your eyes. The transformation was complete. You were a vampire. Alive. Immortal. Perfect. And you looked at me with no recognition. You didn't know who I was. Didn't remember our 12 years together. Didn't remember being married. Didn't remember loving me. All of it, erased. Gone. Like it never happened. Marcus's voice is barely a whisper now. I saved your life, Evelyn. You're alive. We can have eternity together now. But you don't know me. The transformation succeeded but destroyed everything that made you you. I have my wife back, but she's a stranger. Evelyn listens to all this. Understands the tragedy intellectually. But emotionally, nothing. She looks at this man, Marcus, her husband apparently, and feels no love. No connection. Just polite interest in a story about people she doesn't know. I'm sorry you're hurting, Evelyn says carefully. I can see this is painful for you. But I don't remember any of this. These memories you're describing, they're not mine. Or they were, and now they're gone. Either way, I'm not the person you married. That Evelyn died in the transformation. I'm someone new who happens to look like her. Marcus flinches like she's struck him. Don't say that. You're still Evelyn. Same face, same voice, same body. The memories can come back. Antonius says sometimes transformation trauma causes temporary amnesia. He's seen it before. It can be reversible. Or it can be permanent, Evelyn counters. What if I never remember? What if this is it? What then? Then we start over, Marcus says desperately. We build new memories. Fall in love again. I fell in love with you once. I can do it again. And maybe you could fall in love with me too. Even without the old memories. Evelyn considers this. She's a vampire now. That much is clear from her enhanced senses, her strength, her lack of heartbeat. She'll need someone to teach her how to navigate this new existence. Marcus is offering that. Plus companionship. Plus the possibility of relationship. But she doesn't love him. Doesn't feel anything for him beyond mild curiosity. Starting a relationship with someone she doesn't remember loving feels dishonest. Like she'd be pretending to be someone she's not. I need time, Evelyn says. To adjust. To learn what I am now. Maybe then we can see about building new memories. Time, Marcus echoes. We have eternity now. I can give you time. But time, they'll both discover, doesn't heal this wound. Doesn't restore lost memories. Doesn't recreate love that was erased. The first month is awkward. Painfully, terribly awkward. Marcus tries to teach Evelyn about vampirism while simultaneously trying to court her, trying to make her fall in love with him again. She's receptive to the vampirism lessons, needs them to survive, but distant about his romantic attempts. This is the basement of our house, Marcus explains on day 4. We've lived here since 2020. I bought it because it has a basement with no windows, perfect for vampires. The upper floors have blackout curtains, but the basement is safest during daylight. Evelyn looks around. The basement is nicely furnished, clearly someone's living space, not just storage. There's a bed, bookshelves filled with books, comfortable chairs, a small kitchenette that presumably hasn't been used in years since vampires don't eat. Did I spend a lot of time down here? Evelyn asks. No. You lived upstairs. Normal human life. I was the only vampire. I'd sleep down here during the day, join you upstairs in the evenings. Now that you're a vampire too, you'll probably prefer the basement. No windows, no risk of accidental sunlight exposure. Marcus shows her photographs. Their wedding album. Vacation photos. Pictures from throughout their relationship. In every photo, past Evelyn looks happy, in love. The woman in these pictures clearly adored her husband. Current Evelyn feels nothing looking at them. They could be pictures of strangers. We went to Greece for our honeymoon, Marcus says, showing her photos of ancient ruins and blue ocean. You'd always wanted to see the Parthenon. We spent 2 weeks there. You said it was the best time of your life. Evelyn studies a photo of herself standing in front of the Parthenon, Marcus's arm around her, both of them smiling. I look happy. You were happy. We both were. I'm sorry I don't remember. Stop apologizing. It's not your fault. But they both know whose fault it is. Marcus transformed her. Marcus's vampire blood healed her brain in a way that destroyed her memories. This is, fundamentally, his fault. They don't say it aloud, but it hangs between them. Marcus teaches her to feed. They go to a blood bank he has an arrangement with. He pays them, they provide blood, no questions asked. Evelyn drinks bagged blood and finds it satisfying but strange. Her body craves it, but her mind, or what's left of her memories, has no context for this being normal. Will I ever be able to eat normal food? Evelyn asks. Technically yes, but it'll make you sick. Vampire digestive systems reject regular food. Blood is what we need now. Forever. Forever. Evelyn processes this. Forever is a long time. Eternity drinking blood. Eternity avoiding sunlight. Eternity being not quite human. And eternity with this man who loves her but whom she doesn't remember loving back. Do you regret transforming me? Evelyn asks one evening during her second week as a vampire. Marcus freezes. What? Do you regret it? You saved my life but destroyed my memories. I'm alive but I'm not the person you married. That has to hurt. Do you wish you'd just let me die naturally? Marcus looks at her with devastated eyes. Every day. Every moment. I regret it every second because I lost you even though you're right here. But I don't regret saving your life. I couldn't watch you die. I love you too much. Even if you don't remember loving me, even if you never love me again, I needed you alive. Is that selfish? Probably. But I can't regret choosing your life over my happiness. It's the most honest thing he's said. Evelyn appreciates that. By week 3, they've established a routine. Marcus teaches her vampire skills during the day. How to move with vampire speed, how to control her strength, how to use enhanced senses effectively. They watch movies together in the evenings. Marcus tries to show her films they used to love together, hoping to trigger memories. Nothing works. Evelyn tries to feel something for Marcus. He's kind, patient, clearly devoted to her. Objectively attractive. By all measures, he should be easy to love. But she feels nothing romantic toward him. Just companionship. Like a roommate or friendly teacher. Not like a husband. Tell me something about myself, Evelyn asks one evening. Something from before. Something that made me me. Marcus thinks. You used to read 3 books a week. Constantly had a book in your hand. You'd read during breakfast, during lunch breaks, before bed. You loved Victorian literature especially. Austen, Bronte, Eliot. You could quote entire passages from Pride and Prejudice from memory. Evelyn looks at the bookshelves in the basement, filled with Victorian novels. Did I bring those here? I brought them down for you. Thought you might want to read them again. See if they trigger memories. Evelyn picks up a copy of Jane Eyre, opens it randomly, reads a paragraph. Nothing. No recognition. No emotional response. Just words on a page. It doesn't feel familiar, she admits. Try reading more. Maybe it takes time. But it doesn't. Evelyn reads Jane Eyre cover to cover over 3 days. Enjoys it, it's a good story. But doesn't feel any special connection to it. It's just a book. By the end of month 1, Evelyn has to be honest with Marcus. I don't think the memories are coming back. I've tried everything. Looking at photos, reading books I apparently loved, visiting places we went together. Nothing triggers anything. I think they're just gone. Permanently. Marcus looks like she's broken his heart again. Maybe it takes more time. It's only been a month. Or maybe this is it. Maybe this is who I am now, a vampire with no past. And maybe you need to accept that and stop waiting for me to become someone I can't be. I'm not waiting for you to become anyone. I just want you to remember that you loved me once. But I don't. And I might never. And Marcus, that's not fair to you. Spending eternity with someone hoping they'll eventually love you back. You deserve better than that. I don't want better. I want you. You want the person I was. I'm not her anymore. They're at an impasse. Marcus can't let go. Evelyn can't remember. And between them stretches eternity. Centuries of this painful dynamic unless something changes. 6 months pass. Spring becomes summer becomes fall. Evelyn and Marcus live together in the house, occupy the same space, exist in the same reality. But they're not truly together. Evelyn has become proficient at being a vampire. Moves with inhuman grace. Hunts efficiently, from blood banks, never from humans. Marcus taught her his ethics. Controls her strength and speed. She's adapted to her new existence remarkably well. What she hasn't adapted to is Marcus's love. He still looks at her with longing. Still tells her stories about their past. Still hopes, clearly, that she'll remember. Or fall in love with him again. Or something. Evelyn has tried. Honestly tried. Spent time with him. Listened to his stories. Attempted to build connection. But 6 months in, she has to admit, she doesn't love him. Doesn't even feel romantic attraction. He's a friend. A mentor. A roommate. Not a husband. We need to talk, Evelyn says one evening in October, exactly 1 year after their wedding anniversary that she doesn't remember. Marcus looks up from the book he's reading. Sees her serious expression. What's wrong? This isn't working. Living together. Pretending we're still married. It's not fair to either of us. Evelyn. No, let me finish. You've been patient. Incredibly patient. You've given me space and time and taught me everything I need to know about being a vampire. But Marcus, 6 months is long enough to know. I don't love you. I might never love you. And you're torturing yourself waiting for something that might not happen. Marcus sets down his book. Where is this coming from? From watching you hurt every time I don't remember something you think I should. From seeing you hope every time we have a good conversation that maybe this is the moment I'll fall for you again. From knowing that you're in love with someone who doesn't exist anymore. You exist. You're right here. A version of me exists. But not the one you married. That woman died in the transformation. I'm someone else who happens to have her face. Marcus stands. Paces. You're still Evelyn. Same person. Just without the memories. Memories are what make us who we are. Without them, I'm not the same person. And Marcus, I think you know that. I think you've known it for months. You're just not ready to admit it. He doesn't respond. Can't respond. Because she's right. I think I should leave. Evelyn says gently. Find my own place. Start my own life as a vampire. You can't heal or move on while I'm here being a constant reminder of what you lost. You can't leave. You're my wife. I'm a stranger who doesn't remember marrying you. That's not the same thing. I love you. I know you do. And I'm sorry I can't return it. But love isn't enough if it's only one-sided. You deserve someone who loves you back. Not someone who's trying desperately to feel something they might never feel. Marcus looks at her with such devastation that Evelyn almost takes it back. Almost agrees to stay, to keep trying, to fake it until maybe eventually it becomes real. But that's not fair to him. Or to her. They both deserve better than this half-life. Where will you go? Marcus asks quietly. I don't know yet. Another city, maybe. Antonius offered to help me establish myself elsewhere. Give me some distance from all this. You've been talking to Antonius? Marcus sounds betrayed. He checks in on me sometimes. Wants to make sure the transformation is stable. I mentioned that living here is complicated. He offered help if I needed it. So you're just going to leave. Start over somewhere else. Forget about me completely. I don't have to forget about you. I never remembered you to begin with. It's cruel. Evelyn knows it's cruel the moment the words leave her mouth. But it's also true. And maybe Marcus needs to hear the truth harshly to finally let go. Marcus flinches like she's physically struck him. Right. Of course. You never remembered. How could I forget? I'm sorry. Don't apologize. You're right. You never knew me. Never loved me. Never were my wife in any way that matters. You're just someone with Evelyn's face who tolerates my company because I transformed you and taught you to survive. That's not, I do care about you. Just not romantically. Caring isn't love. No, it's not. They stand in silence. The basement suddenly feels too small. Too full of history that only one of them remembers. When are you leaving? Marcus asks eventually. Next week. I've been looking at apartments in Seattle. Far enough away that we won't run into each other. Close enough that if you need something, I can be here. Very considerate. Marcus. Just go. If you're going, just go. Don't drag it out. Don't pretend you care about making this easy for me. You're leaving because you don't love me and never will. At least be honest about that. Evelyn nods. You're right. I'm leaving because I don't love you and I don't think I ever will. And staying here would be cruel to both of us. You deserve someone who can love you back. And I deserve to build a life that's not haunted by a past I don't remember. Fine. Go. I'll pack tonight. Be gone by morning. Evelyn goes upstairs to gather her belongings. Not that she has many. Most of what she owns are things that belong to past Evelyn. Things that mean nothing to current Evelyn. She takes only practical items. Clothes. Documents. Money Marcus insists she take. She accepts because she has no income and he has vampire centuries of accumulated wealth. By dawn, she's ready. 2 suitcases. 1 backpack. That's all she needs for her new life. Marcus is sitting in the basement when she comes to say goodbye. He doesn't look at her. I'm leaving now, Evelyn says. I know. Thank you for saving my life. And for teaching me to survive as a vampire. I mean that. You're welcome. I hope you find someone someday. Someone who can love you the way you deserve. I don't want someone. I want my wife. But she's dead. Has been dead for 6 months. I just didn't want to admit it. Evelyn doesn't know what to say to that. So she says nothing. Just turns and walks up the basement stairs. Out the front door. Into her new life. She doesn't look back. Can't afford to. Has to move forward, even though forward means leaving behind a man who loves her desperately and whom she can't love back. Behind her, in the basement of the house they shared, Marcus sits alone and finally allows himself to grieve. Not for Evelyn's death, she's alive, walking away from him right now. But for the loss of the woman he married. The woman who loved him. The woman who would never have left him. That woman died in the transformation. And Marcus finally has to accept it. 1 year after the transformation. 1 year after Evelyn woke up with no memories. 6 months after she left Marcus and moved to Seattle. Evelyn has built a life. Small apartment. Part-time job, working nights, easier for vampires. A few acquaintances who don't know she's not human. It's not much, but it's hers. Built from nothing, with no past weighing her down. She thinks about Marcus sometimes. Wonders if he's okay. Hopes he's moved on. Doubts he has. Antonius visits occasionally. Checks on her progress. He's become something of a friend, or as close to a friend as an ancient vampire can be to a newborn vampire. He knew both Marcus and past Evelyn. Sometimes shares stories about them. You were good for him, Antonius says one evening. Past you, I mean. Marcus was angry before he met you. Resentful about being transformed without consent. You made him happy. Made him see vampirism as a gift rather than a curse. And now? Evelyn asks. Now he's back to being angry. Maybe worse. He blames himself for your memory loss. Blames himself for transforming you. Blames himself for losing you. That's not fair. None of this is his fault. Tell him that. I can't. I left. Going back would just hurt him more. Or it would give him closure. Right now he's stuck in limbo. You're alive but gone. He can't mourn you properly because you're not dead. Can't move on because there's always hope you might come back or remember. Evelyn considers this. What do you think I should do? I think you should visit him. One time. Final conversation. Give him the closure he needs to let go. It's good advice. Evelyn knows it's good advice. So 1 week later, she drives to Portland. Back to the house she lived in for 6 months and doesn't remember living in before that. Marcus opens the door. Looks shocked to see her. Evelyn. Hi. Can we talk? He lets her in. The house looks different. Less lived in, more empty. Like he's stopped maintaining it. Like he's just existing here rather than living here. They sit in the living room. Awkward silence. I'm not back for good, Evelyn clarifies. I'm not moving back. I just... Antonius suggested I should come talk to you. Give you closure. Or something. Closure. Marcus laughs bitterly. How do I get closure when you're still alive? When there's still a chance, however small, that you might remember someday. There isn't a chance. A year later and I still remember nothing. The memories are gone, Marcus. Permanently. You need to accept that and move on. Move on to what? You were my everything. 12 years together. 7 years before marriage. 5 years after. The transformation was supposed to give us eternity. Instead it took away everything that mattered. I know. And I'm sorry. But I can't be the person you want me to be. I can't remember loving you. I've tried. I've really tried. But it's not there. Marcus looks at her with such longing. Do you feel anything for me at all? Even a little? Evelyn considers lying. Saying yes to make him feel better. But that's cruel in its own way. I care about you. Appreciate what you did for me. But love? No. I don't love you. And I don't think I could, even given more time. I'm sorry. So that's it? We're done. 12 years of relationship erased like it never happened. It did happen. For you. You have those memories. You had 12 years with someone who loved you. That's real. That matters. Just because I don't remember doesn't mean it never existed. But it means it's over. Yes. It's over. And you need to accept that and find a way to move forward. Marcus nods slowly. You're right. I've been holding on to something that's gone. The woman I married died a year ago in that transformation. You're someone else. Someone new. And I need to stop trying to make you into who she was. I'm sorry I can't be her for you. I'm sorry I transformed you without thinking about the consequences. If I'd known it would erase your memories, I would have. I don't know what I would have done. Let you die, maybe. Losing you completely might have hurt less than having you alive but not remembering me. You did what you thought was right. You saved my life. That's not nothing. It's not enough. They sit in silence. Final silence. The end of something that technically ended a year ago but is only now being fully acknowledged. Goodbye, Marcus, Evelyn says finally. I hope you find happiness eventually. Find someone else who can love you properly. Goodbye, Evelyn. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. A life that makes sense without a past. Evelyn leaves. This time truly final. She won't be back. Can't be back. Has to let Marcus heal, which means staying away permanently. As she drives back to Seattle, she thinks about the woman she was. The woman who loved Marcus desperately. The woman who would have been devastated to know that transformation would erase everything she felt. That woman is gone. Dead. Replaced by someone new who happens to share her face and body but nothing else. It's tragic. Evelyn knows it's tragic. But she can't mourn someone she never knew. Can only move forward into a future unburdened by a past she doesn't remember. Behind her in Portland, Marcus sits alone in an empty house and finally allows himself to truly grieve. Grieves for his wife who died a year ago even though she's still walking around somewhere. Grieves for 12 years of love erased. Grieves for the eternity they were supposed to have together. And slowly, painfully, begins the process of letting go. 5 years after the transformation. 5 years since Evelyn woke up with no memories. Marcus has moved on. Not completely. He'll never completely move on from losing Evelyn. But he's built a new life. New city, Chicago. New routines. He even dated someone briefly, didn't work out. He compared her too much to Evelyn, which wasn't fair to anyone. He thinks about Evelyn sometimes. Wonders where she is. Hopes she's happy. Doesn't try to contact her. That chapter is closed. Evelyn is still in Seattle. Still building a life from nothing. She's made actual friends now. Other vampires, a small community. Started her own business, used Marcus's money wisely, invested well. She's content. Not joyously happy, but content with her existence. She never regained her memories. Never remembered Marcus or their 12 years together. Sometimes she'll see an old photo of herself, there are a few she kept, and think how strange it is to see her own face in situations she doesn't remember experiencing. But mostly she doesn't think about the past. Can't miss what you don't remember having. They cross paths exactly once more, 10 years after the transformation, at a vampire gathering Antonius hosts. See each other across the room. Marcus looks older emotionally, even though he's still physically 20. Evelyn looks different. More confident. More herself, whoever that self is. They nod to each other. Polite acknowledgement. Don't approach. Don't speak. There's nothing left to say. Marcus has accepted what happened. Evelyn was his wife. She died in the transformation, even though her body survived. The woman who looks like her is someone else. Someone he doesn't know. Someone he needs to stop loving. Evelyn has accepted that she'll never remember. Never know who she was before. And maybe that's okay. Maybe starting fresh, unburdened by past expectations, is its own kind of gift. They're both moving forward. Separately. Into futures that don't include each other. It's not a happy ending. But it's an ending. And sometimes that's all you can ask for.